I'll go ahead and call the regular council meeting for January 27, 2025 to order. Everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilperson Friedmeier.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion. Roll call. I'll take a roll for the council for attendance. Councilperson Bradley? Councilperson Kempfer? Councilperson Ginever? Councilperson Friedmeier?
Here.
Councilperson Fisher? Absent. Councilperson Bailey?
Here.
Councilperson Winkleman?
Here.
Councilperson Massa? Absent. All right, now I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda once you have a moment to look through it.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes from December 16th, 2024.
The agenda for today. Yes, I might have said minutes, I'm sorry. All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, has the agenda been posted, dated, and signed? All right. Now we're on to minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for December 16th, 2024.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on those minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Moves us on to public comment. Debbie Johns, you have the floor.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I really did try to stay away, but sometimes it just, there's this is just sales tax breakdown for your garbage taxes, one of each one. I guess probably the first concerns came up whenever we saw the advertisement in the paper as far as soliciting for
RFP for trash.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and there were a lot of people concerned. They call me whether I'm here
Right.
from 7 years ago or not, so I told them to call down to City Hall, and I had a chance to come in. And the girls explained to me that one of the options they had thought about was divvying up the larger sections in town to be contracted out, and possibly, and I don't know if I'm correct or not, and possibly keeping the garbage staff to do a couple of wards. So that brought some concerns, and there were questions on the the Nextdoor app. I've seen what happens in some of the other communities that have gone out for bid on this, and they have, I think one of them is Waste Management. They're not happy with their service. We've got such personal service, and I paid attention to your broadcast this morning.
Oh.
And I was real happy to hear that it's still referred to, we're a small community. We offer excellent service. We're proud of our community. It's a family. There's only two faces I don't know that I have. And what we were really concerned about were there other options that we looked at. One of the options they had talked about was if the revenue had caught up with the expenses. And I know we had built in a 0.5 cent sales tax.
That's correct.
That you'll see on one of those pages from the Department of Revenue. I was only not here for one of them, the general sales tax, but you can see what year it was passed. So the garbage sales tax was passed in 1991. When people were concerned that we were going to go out for bid at that time, we did a citywide survey on different services. And one of the things that they were adamant about was keeping our personal garbage service, because we followed some of these garbage trucks, and it's not like following a fire truck. So they grab the can, they throw it in, whatever's out on the street stays, and then they move on. You get extra charges if it's too full. You have senior citizens that are trying to drag those things out, and they're heavy, and of which I am now in that category. But you drag it out even though it's got wheels on it. And I guess what they had talked about is if we're afraid that we're not going to have the money set aside for capital improvements for new trucks or recycling or whatever, that possibly we could go back and, ask for an increase in that sales tax for the garbage tax. I don't know what the limit is. Some of them have a top limit. And I'm telling you, myself personally, I would be more than happy to volunteer my time to do, if you want to do another community survey, how people feel about it before we go to this and people don't know what we're talking about. I would be more than happy to solicit for an increase in sales tax. That garbage department is not funded by us. Every person that buys in the city of Crystal City pays for our garbage collection. So we've got a service that everybody's paying for it, even outside the city limits. Walmart, your local businesses, they're paying for our garbage sales tax, and it's an excellent service, and we really hate to lose that if there are other options. I know Jason said that the, the collections, or the distribution site and then the landfill had doubled from one year to the next.
It is about 20,000 a month, roughly. I think this month's was about 20,000, and, you know, when I first started 3 years ago, it was about 12, 11, yeah,
and
something like that.
Why. You know, it's a transfer station
in Kinswick is where we dump.
They take it over and dump it in Illinois.
And, yeah, they just increased the fuel. There's surcharges on the itemized bill. It's Waste Management is the one where we drop it off at, and there's not another. The alternative, which we did try, was to take it down to Richwoods for a little bit. And it's, you know, that wasn't, it's more of a,
You've got a heavy overloaded truck traveling the side of
the
highways, and
it's the distance was a little bit, but it's a dirt road, and our truck was getting stuck, and it just wasn't worth I mean, there was a savings there, but it just didn't.
Not much when you offset the cost of your gas and your men's time on the truck.
Right.
And I guess if there are other alternatives, I'm quite sure you're going to see the same response, that we'd like to keep up our personal service, especially when other people outside the community are paying for it.
Well, no, it's a great, it works out good. I have a little thing for my mayor's message, or mayor's response here, but the gist of it is that we look at every department here, and the RFP, the request for proposal, is just those little words, they're always little initials. That was just part of getting this thing, just to make sure, you know, and I think our discussion was beforehand, like, it wasn't about saving a little bit of money. It would have to be substantial for us to do it. And we were just doing our homework on this. And to my knowledge, we're nowhere near making that decision yet by any means. And if that decision does come up, it would be, and if you stay for the meeting, you'll hear my little spiel, but it
I'm
is,
glad to hear that.
it is for, it's community involvement and our decision to make, because it's not just us up here, it's you guys that are affected, and, how I think government is, it's
kind of threw up a red flag because nobody had even heard that there was a discussion.
Yeah, it's just part of, I mean, Jason and I have interactions on a weekly basis, yearly basis on budget time. You know how that is, I guess. Yeah. And we look at every department.
Last minute, you know.
And we look at each department and say, hey, is there a better way to do business here? And I think that's one of our responsibilities as a council to do that.
That's the way it's always been run. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Guys you're the stopgap. You're the end. So.
Right. But no, I appreciate you coming here and voicing. I like that.
Well, and like I said, I am more than happy to lend my time if there's anything that I can do as far as in the community itself. I know we have some people here that are we're concerned about it enough to show up even on short notice. So.
And this wasn't going to be a charge to, if this ward got it, they're going to pay $100 a month. Well, this ward over here still has Crystal City. They're paying $50. It wasn't going to be that.
Well, I think they were more concerned about the type of service.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I like whatever I put out there.
And if something is missed, it takes the call, and the girls are excellent in the office. You know, they call out, they'll come back, and somebody forgets to pick their trash up.
Right.
If you have, you know, the bulk, well, of course, that's on a separate day and everything.
Right.
I can't say that I know any community that has the type of personal service that we've got. These guys should be commended.
To my knowledge, I think we're one of the only communities that does a bulk pickup pending snow, twice a month. And that's just not a service offered to my knowledge. I know Festus doesn't have it. I mean,
they do, but they charge for it. You have
do
to
they?
get a tax. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you gotta take your stuff to one of their roll-off dumpster. Yeah,
So,
so,
yeah, we don't get it, I mean, I don't know anybody that gets the service we get.
no, and we were never gonna,
Happy with it.
you know, depending on these numbers, the bulk pickup would always stay. Like you said, it's a tax that, once you have a tax, I mean, once we have that tax, we're not getting rid of that.
Your service that's on, I mean, for the recycling is only $4 a month too, and since it's a service tax, that can be increased. I would gladly pay $10 a month if I thought that was something that would build up for capital improvements for that department,
Right.
rather than lose that personal service.
Right now, our finances are okay in that trash fund.
They should
It's
be. We
just
build
we're,
it up. It's,
yeah, we're just looking in the, like I said, this is, basically I was like, hey, how much does other companies charge? And we're like, we don't know. And we need to send it out for bid to get an actual price, and that's what that is. Us doing our research is
yeah.
what
And-
made that ad go in the
And like I
paper.
said again, it's, the charge, I think, is a part of it. And, well, you all live here, so you know too, what good service we do get. So.
Oh, we get amazing. So our trash, our public works is, they're doing great. And, no, yeah.
I have to say that he's good.
They watch us, don't they? No, I appreciate it. Is that,
I like Debbie's idea of getting a survey, though, if we do get to the point where we find out it's cheaper to farm it out and get a good level of service. But it'd be good to let the people chime in, too.
And, you know, we even had a comment section on it, and if we were gonna do it as a survey, we even had some other concerns listed on there, in case there were other areas in the city that you guys could benefit from that maybe we hadn't thought of,
right,
so.
absolutely.
And like I said, I'd be happy to help, so,
Well, thank you.
he's got my number.
I'll take advantage of you.
I know you will. Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty, moving on to number 3, check register and bills. I believe a couple councilmen had questions about some larger bills, but one was because of 2 invoices of salt, and
Did recognize the names, I looked up the big expense, did recognize it, yeah. Daniel answered my question.
The sales tax was a little low, too.
sales tax was off on all of them except the use tax. The use tax was still, people still buy it online, but the next month will be where Christmas comes in. So we
That off to December, Christmas, being over December.
yeah.
But it's still low compared to last year, which is kind of odd, so.
Yeah, it was a little bit, I don't ever like seeing the little parentheses on there, so. Anybody have a question on that, or I'll entertain a motion to approve the check register and bills.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Committee reports are in your packet. Does anyone have any questions on those? I'll go through Mr. Turner. Yours was detailed, I like that. Capital letters of snow. Well, we did a great job on that, and I'll mention that later on, so.
Good job.
I have nothing more to add. The guys have been busy since I put that out last week for a few more water breaks, so they've continued to deal with the weather, and they've continued to handle it, so I'm proud of them, so.
Good.
They've done a good job this month.
Well, thank you for that. Chief Bova was busy as well. His is in there.
Mayor, I have a question about the request for proposal. I know it was in the paper, and that's where some people have thought. Did we do other things to solicit that, or did we outreach to all of those companies individually, or we just asked for the proposals in that ad in the paper? The ad in the paper, so we didn't
We did
make
not.
sure they noticed it or anything, or
We-
solicit to them? Okay.
No, we just followed the, here's what's required, so we sent out and I believe only one person showed up for,
Mandatory meeting, only one showed up.
Yeah.
Only got one proposal.
And I only sent out 5, but 3 of them were to companies, just, that's what they ask all the time, so.
Okay. Thank you.
yeah, no worries. All right, Mr. Sullivan is sick tonight, but, his, as always, very detailed information on there.
Can I ask a couple questions about that?
Absolutely.
This is just my ignorance. What's 118 Mississippi Avenue? Is that Crystal Tavern?
Yes.
Okay, so they're redoing the electric or something, or?
I do not know what their meeting was about.
they had contacted me over the summer about moving the overhead lines from their building to the pole because they wanted to put a stage or something back there for music, outdoor music, so
Oh, okay.
I would only assume that's why he met with them.
Yeah, well, whenever I see that in there, I get a little excited to see if they're getting any closer, so that's why I ask. Probably not.
We've all been excited for quite some time on that.
Yeah. And I wish Larry were here, because he met with Larry Glazer from, Grazier from, no, I think it is Glazier, from Crown Plastics. So apparently, it was pretty good. Yeah, Robert met with Larry. Yeah, sorry. Thanks. That's all I got. Oh, and he said, there probably will be a zoning appeals board meeting this week. He didn't know when, or this month.
There will be a BOZA?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get that in the reports then. We'll get that date hammered down then.
Yeah, I don't know if he knew. He just texted me something and said sometime this month.
Okay. All right. Chief Helms, you have anything to add to yours? All right. Moving on to liaison reports. Councilperson Fisher's absent, the library board, school board, park board, Councilperson Bailey.
All I can report is, thanks to the weather, the meeting was canceled, rescheduled, canceled again, rescheduled, canceled again, so the next meeting is next Monday night.
Perfect. All righty. And planning and zoning, Councilperson Friedmeier.
Yes, Robert told me there will be a P and Z meeting Thursday, February the 6th at 6:30.
All righty. And then Councilperson Ginever will have a BOZA meeting, zoning appeals board sometime this month. Okay, we'll get that handled and put on our calendar. All right. Moving on to public response. Does anyone in the audience wish to speak on anything related to the previous council meeting, December 16th, 2024? All right. Old business, we have none. New business, we have none. That takes us on to our ordinances and resolution. And I'll entertain a motion to read Bill 1969-2025 on its first reading by title only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, can I have the first reading of Bill 1969-2025, please, by title only?
Yes. 1969-2025, an ordinance of the City of Crystal City, Missouri, authorizing the Mayor, Mike Osher, to enter into a contract with Cochran Engineering for $38,000 for engineering design, bidding, and construction services related to the Community Development Block Program.
Thank you.
Make a motion to accept Bill 1969-2025 on first reading.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded to accept Bill 1969-2025 on its first reading by title only. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Make a motion to read Bill 1969-2025 on its second and final reading by title only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, can I have the second and final reading of Bill 1969-2025 by title only, please?
Second and final reading, 1969-2025, an ordinance of the City of Crystal City, Missouri, authorizing the Mayor, Mike Osher, to enter into a contract with Cochran Engineering for $38,000 for engineering design, bidding, and construction services related to the Community Development Block Grant Program.
Make a motion to accept Bill 1969-2025 on its second and final reading by title only.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded to approve Bill 1969-2025 on its second and final reading by title only. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
I'm sorry, I just want to get a clarification. So we are hiring them to apply for this $250,000 grant. We're going to pay them the $38,000 just for a...
So this grant is for, as I said in my email that I sent out
I read that and,
We're kinda done with the ADA
Right,
inspections.
right.
So the, Rosie at the EDC continues to save $250,000 for us based on our LMR, which is our income areas of town. Certain things apply in certain areas of town. So the next thing we can pivot to is the stormwater relining. So it's secured in place, they blow in, they basically put a sleeve in there, they arc seam it in place, so it comes from into a PVC. So this will do Bailey Road, or a portion of Bailey Road from Virginia down, kinda to the tracks of the creek, and then on 3rd Street.
for the stormwater. Stormwater.
Reline the stormwater pipe. So I would imagine, if you remember last year, Cochran will come in, or we have to do a community survey, we'd have to have a public, there's a whole process behind it. So that's this year's project.
Okay.
So we'll pay the engineering, and then
And-
get the 250
And they're doing that, but they're applying for the grant for us.
They're doing all the paperwork.
Okay.
The bidding out of the project, the
Right.
entire project.
Okay. That's the way I understood your email, but I wanted to hear it
Yes, sir.
again. Thank you.
Good, thank you. I believe, we were under this discussion, I had a motion and a second, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. I'll poll the council. Councilperson Bradley?
Yes.
Councilperson Kemfer? Councilperson Ginever?
Does Carl vote, did he finally retire?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
You hear from him at all?
Occasionally, if you go to the golf course.
Free lunch somewhere.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I wonder where Carl was.
You read the name there. Councilperson Bailey?
Yes.
Councilperson Winkleman?
Yes.
All right. Motion carries. Moving on to, Bill number 1969-2025 now becomes ordinance 1969-2025. Is that correct, Madam Clerk? Thank you, ma'am.
Make a motion to read Bill 1970-2025 on its first reading by title only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this bill? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, can I have the first reading of Bill 1970-2025 by title only, please?
Yes. 1970-2025 on its first reading, an ordinance of the City of Crystal City, Missouri, authorizing the mayor, Mike Osher, to enter into a contract with Cochran Engineering in the amount of $94,217 for engineering design, bidding, and construction services related to the 11th Street STP Improvement Project.
Thank you, ma'am.
Make a motion to accept Bill 1970-2025 on its first reading by title only.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded to accept Bill 1970-2025 on its first reading by title only. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Make a motion to read Bill 1970-2025 on its second and final reading by title only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
A question, so this project cost estimate, $198,000 for that project, that is in addition to the engineering, that's a separate bill
That would be our total outlay.
with engineer?
What we're doing right now is we will give Cochran $5,000 to apply for this grant. If we're successful in the grant, which we'll find out in June or July, then this project would be in 2028. And this cost. The 198 includes our 107, local share at 20% plus their engineering.
Okay,
The rest of it is paid by through the federal share.
I see, the 500, okay.
But we haven't been awarded the grant. The first step is applying for the grant.
Right.
We used to do this in two contracts. We enter into a contract for the grant approval, and then we enter into another grant, or contract if we're successful.
Right.
We started doing it this way. Here's the whole contract. If you don't get it,
It's nothing lost other than the application. And this is for sidewalks that replace, it looks like that past the softball field where there's no, or
yeah.
only
We've got curbing, some replace curbing, sidewalks that are deteriorated, new ADA sidewalks, I believe on the west, or, I'm sorry, the south side. All pavement milling, which we would take the pavement all the way to the bridge.
Right.
We would try to extend it around. Not under this grant, we have to do that ourselves. But we come around past the high school and pave to the bridge.
To the,
Right now they've got it stopped, it's
Yeah.
kind of where it hits Mississippi,
Right.
but hopefully we would have the money just to extend, and I think we, Dan and I left today at another 1,400 yards.
1,400 feet, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that'd be great. Thank you. And but 2028?
Yeah, they're usually 3 years out.
Okay.
So sometimes if the money isn't spent or another community doesn't spend it, then they free it up. They've been really pushing us not to sit on these. So, but this is scheduled 3 years out.
It would be nice to have that sidewalk on the north side of 11th Street all the way.
And we can see about if we can add that in.
Mm-hmm. Well, isn't that what this,
I don't.
replace existing
I think
oh, that's curbing. Oh, that's curbing. That's not sidewalk.
And is that right where that big storm grate is? Is probably the reason
Yeah.
there's no sidewalk in that?
In front of the softball field, or,
Before,
but
yeah.
you mean
So if you're
by the
walking down the
reservoir.
north side of 11th Street, you have to on the sidewalk, you have to cross to the south side to walk past the softball field, and actually, I think all the way to Virginia.
Right.
Yeah. And so I was seeing that it looked like if that was gonna close that gap, that there'd be sidewalks on both sides, but.
We can see about adding it.
Mhm.
Like, it's all on point, so
Mhm.
when they submit this kind of stuff, they have an idea of what kind of, points we're gonna get when East West Gateway looks at this. So we asked today about extending it to the bridge, sidewalks, and
Uh-huh.
and he's like, yeah,
My request
that's gonna be a separate project.
Yeah.
They like these small kind of projects where they can add our project to the list of 20 other cities.
Uh-huh.
It's only costing them $100,000.
Right.
So they spread their money a little bit further. So we've learned to kind of keep our projects smaller
Uh-huh.
like this because we have a better chance of getting
Sounds like a good strategy to me.
approved for, 110,000 versus a 400,000.
Right.
So.
Thanks.
I like the idea of sidewalk, but turning into another East Street. Right. Right now it's super wide right there when you do have ball practice, whatever. People seem to pull up on the grass a little bit. And with school out in the afternoons, it's nice and wide, no accidents.
Right.
I would want to see that East Street horrible sometimes.
Oh, it's, yeah, yeah, it is. All right, I had a motion and a second, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, can I have the second and final reading of Bill 1970-2025 by title only, please?
Ordinance number 1970-2025 on its second and final reading. An ordinance of the City of Crystal City, Missouri, authorizing the mayor, Mike Osher, to enter into a contract with Cochran Engineering in the amount of $94,217 for engineering, design, bidding, and construction services related to the 11th Street STP Improvement Project.
Thank you.
Make a motion to accept Bill 1970-2025 on second and final reading by title only.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded to approve Bill 1970-2025 on its second and final reading by title only. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. I'll poll the council. Councilperson Bradley? Councilperson Kemper? Councilperson Ginever? Councilperson Friedmeier?
Yes.
Councilperson Bailey? Councilperson Winkleman? Bill number 1970-2025 now becomes ordinance 1970-2025. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Make a motion to read Bill 1971-2025 on its first reading by title only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, can I have the first reading of Bill 1971-2025 by title only, please?
Ordinance number 1971-2025 on its first reading, an ordinance of the City of Crystal City, Missouri, authorizing the mayor, Mike Osher, to enter into a contract with Goodwin Brothers Construction to perform regional stormwater infrastructure improvements, DNR-SW-91FCDE 52D9.
Thank you, ma'am.
Make a motion to accept Bill 1971-2025 on its first reading by title only.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded to accept Bill 1971-2025 on its first reading by title only. Any questions on that one? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Make a motion to read Bill 1971-2025 on its second and final reading by title only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, can I have the second and final reading of Bill 1971-2025 by title only, please?
Ordinance number 1971-2025 on its second and final reading. An ordinance of the City of Crystal City, Missouri, authorizing the mayor, Mike Oster, to enter into a contract with Goodwin Brothers Construction to perform regional stormwater infrastructure improvements, ENR-SW-91 SCGC 52D9.
Thank you, ma'am.
Make a motion to accept bill 1971-2025 on its second and final reading by title only.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded to approve Bill 1971-2025 on its second and final reading by title only. Any discussion on this?
All this work is in the Hardy,
So this is the regional stormwater grant we got for $5 million.
Uh-huh.
Kind of related to Hardy, but there's, what we're trying to build out towards, in the hospital area, Good Earth Tools, our stormwater basins.
mm-hmm,
Like when you go into Lowe's, you see the ditch there with the
Right.
concrete swale in it, surrounded by fence. So we have, right now we have, there'll be more, but we have one on, Good Earth Tools property, there's three of them. There's three we have right now. We're waiting on property acquisition from Hardy and Good Earth Tools to either donate or we have to purchase the right of way
Uh-huh.
property to put these stormwater basins. But there's all stormwater basins out there on Mercy Jefferson, Hardy site, a little bit of the Lucas property. And then we have the one on Goodwin site. So there's supposed to be a total of 5.
mm-hmm.
It just depends on the 2 property holdouts acquisitions we're waiting on, if they're donated or buying them, how much more can we do? So this is getting us started.
And that's, I guess my question was, I'm not familiar with where Lucas Lake or...
So that's on the property, I guess, on the other side of the airport, on the Hardy property now. So the Lucas family owns, I think there's 60 to 80 acres and several different parcels out there. So Hardy bought some property from Lucas, which is a little bit into their lake. So they're having to redo the Lucas property. Right. And it's not between us. Right. So there's a stormwater runoff basin that's gonna be on portion of Hardy property and Lucas property to catch Hardy stuff. Right. So there's a little more of this coming. This is, what we have right now. So there's about $1.7 million left maybe. That doesn't include the engineering fees that we use out of there. So it really just depends on what these property owners are gonna either give us the property for these stormwater basins, or we have to buy the property. So, this is where we're at.
And the stormwater basins, just, they'll be our responsibility from this point on, so. But it's the stormwater and it's just regional retention, yeah, I mean, so to foster development, we, right. Yeah. Yeah. All right, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. I'll poll the council. Councilperson Bradley? Councilperson Kemfer? Councilperson Ginever? Councilperson Friedmeier?
Yes.
Councilperson Bailey?
Yes.
Councilperson Winkleman? Bill number 1971-2025 now becomes ordinance 1971-2025. Is that correct, Madam Clerk? Thank you, ma'am. City Administrator's Report. I believe you have a copy of that at your desk if you have any further questions for Jason. He just got back from a conference, so he can enlighten us on some of his meetings he had. No, I know you had a good time, and it was beneficial, so I like it when they come back with stuff, so. All right, if nobody has any questions on that, I'll move on to the mayor's report. Our Public Works Department's done a great job of clearing up the snow and ice so far this season. It gets overlooked often, but the pre-planning for making sure all the trucks are ready and the pre-treatment of the roads really helps. So, Mr. Turner, being proactive and not reactive was the difference this year on that first snow. And, that's the results you get when you pre-plan. And, I'd like to thank Mr. Turner and his crew for the long hours of service. I think our Public Works did a great job with that snow removal. complaint. Yeah. No, I think we did good, and like I said, that just being proactive with pre-treating it when the weather allows, you know, it didn't turn into, it wasn't raining for 2 days before it turned in, so it allowed it to, I'm biased, but I thought we did a really good job, so. Moving on, I got the MLK March was held on Sunday, the 19th. Crystal City Police Department led that march with Corporal Myers marching. Councilman Ginever and spouse joined on that cold day as well. Crystal City has a great community, and it showed up in support of that. It was a cold day, and it went really well. So, anyone in the audience want to comment about anything on today's?
Yes, we own the property on Missouri Avenue, and we had attended the planning and zoning, and it was our understanding that there would be a vote for that to be approved as well in the city council.
Not this meeting. It has to be, I mean, that's a Robert question, but he didn't submit any, ordinances for that yet.
They told us twice it was today. No.
I don't have an ordinance for that.
Is that the process though?
The process from P and Z, it gets approved at P and Z, and then it does have to go in the paper and, get approved here. Yes, you're correct. That is a process, but I was not aware of.
Canceled.
The last P and Z meeting got.
Got canceled. Yeah.
No, we were heard in the last one. We were heard in the previous one.
I remember when you guys were speaking.
We came to the first council meeting afterwards, and you told us you were at the wrong meeting. That it was today, and we knew it was today, because it was his birthday.
Yeah.
Robert called me.
Robert called you and said we had, I do not have an ordinance set in front of me. I apologize on that. I can have Robert touch base with you tomorrow, or Jason will touch base on it. I mean, I can call you too.
He did go home at the last minute feeling bad too. I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
Is it something that they usually wait till the last minute to put on the?
No, we normally have these agendas. It has to be posted along, it has to be 72 hours or. Yeah, it was a rezoning of property, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
I think, was that?
That was up on Missouri Avenue on the corner right beside the apartments.
Yeah, I remember the meeting. I don't remember the specifics of it, but I mean, I remember the property that you had, and but I'm not aware of.
Yeah, 'cause he texted me today and said that he went home sick. He got sick and he wouldn't be here at the meeting tonight. Sorry, but
But it does have to. It goes to P and Z, and then it gets final approval through this council. You're correct on that. But we would.
And we have a P and Z meeting on the 6th of February.
Has P and Z passed it yet? That's it, yeah.
It has passed it,
Yeah, I believe they voted and passed, and yeah. I mean, it was just a rezoning, though.
We understood this was just more of a formality.
Right, and I mean, the council normally takes, you know, the recommendations of the P and Z board, but we'll hang tight after the meeting. I'll get your numbers, and I'll personally call you tomorrow once I find out more about this, because I did not get anything submitted by Mr. Sullivan at all, and it wasn't on the agenda. So, all right.
Does that have to be read as an ordinance?
The rezoning?
I don't really know anything about this.
Yeah, if it hasn't been presented to us by planning and zoning.
Yeah, it hasn't been presented by,
There's nothing from planning and zoning on an ordinance.
it would be an ordinance.
This certain property.
I was just trying to rank some up to help him move along, if we could do something pending that, and if it goes through,
We'd have to,
Currently zoned and what he's recommended zone too.
right, that has to fall under,
He's got his, report that he's got for February. We'll be bringing rezoning requests for the council in February. That's Roberts.
that's Robert's.
I know I've seen something the other day.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I know it has to come through this council, and, I don't know, I apologize if he called or anything, I'm not aware of that. Well, it is a little chilly, well, it is right there, but, no, I do remember, you know, the rezoning thing, and it did pass P and Z, but, this is a step, so, but just hang tight after the meeting, I'll get your number and I'll call you. All right, anybody else have any comments? Yes, sir.
I just want to second what Debbie Johns said about public works. I grew up in this town, lived here my entire childhood, moved over to Festus and lived there for the last 35 years. And then I've been back here in this town for last four years. And it is night and day difference between waste management service versus the city service. You guys do a fantastic job. I hope you don't change anything you're doing. It's just very much appreciated. And then also with the waste management services, you're dealing with their garbage cans, trash cans. Half the time they're too large to fit in your garages. All the houses have to stack them outside the house. There's just so many things that it's hard to put a value on. I just wanted to second what Debbie said and just say how much my wife and I appreciate the service.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking up. All right. Any others? All right. Moving on, I got Crystal City Libraries hosting a soup drive competition. All the proceeds go to Helping Hands at Crystal City Elementary School. The director was on the radio this morning, I believe, even Ms. Johns mentioned that. So, if you missed it, you'll be able to find that information on my MoInfo.
Did you want to say something?
No, I heard it on the radio.
Oh, perfect. That's correct. They got a nice little pyramid built down there. We got some in here at City Hall. Well, we got a bucket here. I got to still bring mine in. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Perfect. Absolutely.
Right now, there's like, I looked to see how many houses are for sale in Crystal City. There's 20 houses. And 10 of those houses have got pending contracts on.
Good.
So people want to move to Crystal City. On my street alone, there's 4 houses for sale.
Right.
And they're all pending.
Good. I like to hear that. Yeah.
Small school district, a small town of Russellville, and I hope that we can keep our great services that we have with our guys.
Yeah, we absolutely. I mean, I'll address that real quick. So I would like to address the trash RFP. So we've had multiple questions pertaining to the trash RFP. Residents commenting on Facebook, coming in, calling in, and for the council, you guys might have been answering some questions. I feel it's our responsibility to verify the taxpayers' monies are spent appropriately. I think we've done a good job doing that. Jason and I look at each department within the city yearly and research to see if there's a better way to conduct business. The RFP for trash was just part of that process. We're still gathering data on the topic. Trash is a department that has many factors intertwined, and the decision to outsource will be based off of data and community response when and if that time comes. We are nowhere near making that decision at this time, I can assure you that. I personally look at everything from itemized attorney bills, credit card statements, occasional phone bills, just to provide part of the checks and balance process. At no time can I recommend to the council any decision without diligently researching each topic. To the best of my knowledge, the leadership of this city is continually making great strides to prepare us for the future, and I'm proud to be part of that process. The trash RFP was strictly getting information. Trash is a unique thing, which you know, if you've worked here, most of the time I can just ask Jason, like, hey, I need numbers on this, or Barb, I can say, hey, I need numbers on this, or Turner, hey, I need this, or Chief, give me a printout. With trash, it was one of those, we had to outsource to get information to provide to you guys. And we'll have those numbers as soon as we get it all documented up. It will be, like I said, I love the survey idea. I want to see, I think that's a good idea. Jack, that mentioned that you said the survey. I think a survey is good. I come from a teaching background, and you're constantly just reflecting on what you did good and what you could do better. And I think a survey going out and seeing, hey, where the priorities of the town are, I think that's a good thing to do. And I would like to see that happen in the future if we can do a survey of some type, not just pertaining to trash, but to anything, and go from there. So that's pretty much all I have. Sorry to ramble on so much on that, but we'll go to roundtable comments. Councilperson Bradley.
Yeah, I'd like to comment on what Mr. Meyer said about the differences, just getting through Christmas time. I'm guessing that it didn't fit in your can, they didn't pick it up, huh? Is that true in Festus?
Over in Festus,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
then, not only that, so many times I was out picking up other people's trash and my trash that ended up falling out in the street and they just drive off.
Yeah.
So, and those are just little things.
Yeah. like Mayor said, this was just a cost thing, looking at it, but, yeah, you can't put a price on what he just said.
No, and,
Our drivers, our guys working on that truck, I have seen them. You know, they chase cans down the road on windy days. Pretty sure these guys don't get out of the trucks.
no, they don't.
It's worth something.
And, you know, and I think I mentioned it here to this council when we didn't have a big audience, but it wasn't all about like, hey, how much is this gonna, it would have to be substantial savings, because the thing that we have in bulk would never go away or anything like that, because it is a tax. The citizens pay that tax, and it's not just Crystal City people pay that tax. Everybody pays that tax to pick up our trash, and I do enjoy knowing that. But
I just know, you know, the boxes, the Christmas.
oh yeah.
Now, every
Yeah.
week, I don't think anybody can outshop my wife on Amazon. They got enough Amazon boxes, and they're always gone when I get them.
I challenge you on that.
we all do. Yeah.
But they're always gone trash day, and
Yeah.
that's why I say you can't put a price on it.
No. All right.
That's all I wanted to speak on.
Thank you, sir. Councilperson Kemfer. All right. Councilperson Ginever.
I'd like to personally apologize to the family that showed up thinking that there was gonna be something for you tonight. Just to back up what Dan said, in Mr. Sullivan's report, he said, attended planning and zoning meeting, will be bringing rezoning request before city council in February. Apparently that information didn't get to you, so, you know, there's nothing worse than showing up.
No, these have become a habit now.
We're trying to rope you
Hey,
in.
I remember you on P&Z. Well, you sat pretty close.
I'm excited to rethink about trash. In Herculaneum, all that's together, and it's ungodly for any kind of, multifamily.
Right.
Yeah, and we have some seniors there, and we eat that.
Right.
$300 or $400 a month.
Right.
3 units.
Yep.
But anyway, it sounds like Mayor Osher is gonna be on top of that too, just to make sure, hopefully it doesn't happen again.
No.
And I wanted to reiterate something about that, Mayor Osher said about the diversity luncheon that's on February 22nd. That's open to the public, you just have to buy a ticket for it, but it is a really good event. Just a couple of things about, the Historical Society. I got I think it was a text message from Clayton Lowry, and somebody was looking for his documentary, and he said, well, just go to the city webpage and look it up, and it's not on the city webpage anymore. So Clayton would like a request that it be put back on the city webpage. If anybody hadn't seen it, he did a really nice video documentary of the glass plant, and I think it's called A Pain into the Past, or Pain of History, or something like that.
We can get that handled. Pain in
Yeah.
Time. It's something. It's a nice little thing.
Yeah, it is. And we're supposed to be open on the 2nd for our monthly Historical Society opening, but hopefully it doesn't snow like it has the last 2 months. So that's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Councilperson Friedmeier.
Thanks again, Danny. Public Works guys did a great job on the site. It was tough, but so congratulations to them.
Thank you, sir. Councilperson Bailey.
I want to thank all the city employees that had to be outside doing anything in this weather that we've had. They've all done an excellent job, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna mention the same thing with the street department. They were still out chopping off the sidewalk at school earlier this week, so it wasn't just a snowstorm 2 weeks ago. They have been working hard for all that time. I did wanna mention 2 other departments, it's not a department anymore, the sewer company had an issue, and the service that I got from Jefferson County Sewer was very good. They were very responsive. They came back a couple of times, and it was really very good. And I know, not saying it's the same as trash, but we turned it over to a different company, and at least my experience with them was very good earlier this month. And so they came out and investigated and figured it out and got it fixed for us. So I really appreciate the Jefferson County Sewer working together with us. I don't know what any other feedback has been, but my experience has been very good with them. Yes?
Good.
My son lives off of Holding, and they have a lift station,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently that wasn't communicated to them, but once he called and said that the lift station is stopped once in a while, they were on it.
Good.
Immediately, and there's a part they're waiting on, so they
Good. Well, good. Well, we've heard a couple of, good things about it, so I'm glad it's working out. It's working on our end. Financially, it's working out perfect on us, because what happened before, not to drone on, but we just had, the commission would just send us bills, the sewage committee, and we didn't have any say on how that money was spent. They were just sending us bills, and the worst part about that is sometimes we weren't even in compliance with DNR, so then I'd get letters with DNR. So, they've done from our standpoint, it's been just amazing, so I'm happy with the service.
And they're working together with the city as well.
Yeah.
Part of the issue was they weren't sure, when the Jefferson County Sewer came out, they went to the city and said, let's double check, we'll go down and ask down there, and so, really good on that. And then to Chief Helms, who, he and a few of his officers have helped with a circumstance that I needed help. It was a holiday weekend, got a hold of the chief, and right away, he and his men stepped up for that. I appreciate it.
No, all of our departments lately, this month, we had a lot going on. The month of December was a busy month, and this month as well. It just kind of bled over, and our police did an excellent job. Our fires, they go out in the cold and put out everybody in our city is doing a great job, and I'd like to end on that. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned.
You, Jason, while you're up. Thanks, Chad. Yeah. Appreciate his efforts. Yeah. Is Eddie back? I'm more concerned about him than about my interest. Yeah. I can't imagine.